infinite iron, a resource that is very much so needed, especially for beacons. So I am Golem Farm. It's a great way to get infinite iron, and to build ours, we're doing a collection system, a item sorting system, as well as a auto crafter. For the most part, this is all the resources we need for the collection and redstone portion of this. And what we'll do is we're going to do a 3x3 area that's going to consist of where the iron golems are going to fall. And you can start this build in any like direction you want. Like you can start with the iron golem spawning platform first. Just with the way that I'm doing it, I find it so much easier to start with the collection system. And welcome to my Minecraft guide, where today most of you are not subscribed. You got your 3x3 area. You will need 2 large chests, or like 1 large chest and 1 small chest. It really just depends on how many poppies you plan to keep. And you want to start by taking a hopper into the chest on the right, facing it this way, left facing it that way, and then just bring the hopper into that guy like that. And of course, you'll just want to fill in the entire 3x3 area you have here. The key is just make sure that the center line of hoppers go into this guy, and then you just put hoppers into the sides, or if you wanted to, you could put this 1 hopper into the sides and these 2 going into this guy, which means at this stage, no matter what hopper this stuff falls into, it's going to be going into this chest. Off camera, I did do some more enchanting with my axe, my pickaxe, and my shovel. Check out last episode, I did a little section on how to enchant. For the item sorting and auto crafting system, you'll want to be 3 blocks below the chest. It just makes it easier to build. And this far left chest is going to go ahead and be our iron block collection auto crafter system. So underneath this chest, we're going to go ahead and place an andesite block. On top of there, place a dropper, and on top of that, an auto crafter, just like so. There we go. It did not place correctly. Okay, take 2. There we go. Now behind here, you'll want to go ahead and put a hopper going into the dropper, and then a hopper going into a temporary block behind your auto crafter. Going from behind here, you'll want to go back a single block, place down a block there, and then a redstone torch. And going from the bottom hopper, go out 3 blocks and place another block down like that. Have a repeater there. Now you want to have a comparator going that way, and from the comparator, have redstone dust going all the way down to that block. Once you have your sorting system set up, in the hopper next to the crafter, go ahead and fill it with 4 items that are not going to be in the system, or 4 renamed items. Just make sure none of these items are tools or anything, because those will start the sorting system. So use 4 items that can stack, and then go ahead, put in the iron, so that way the iron can start getting sorted out. And you'll know you've done this right if it gets stuck on 41 pieces of iron. And now let's say I drop the iron into the sorting system, and anything else, the iron will now go and get sorted into the dropper, while everything else gets sorted into the chest over here. Now we need to set up a redstone clock that will constantly make the dropper tick. And the best thing I find to do is taking a temporary block, placing it there, placing a hopper into the temporary block, removing said temporary block, and then putting the hopper into the hopper, and add an item that'll just go back and forth forever. Now that the item's going back and forth forever, place down a comparator going into the block below your dropper. And since the comparator can read when a hopper is full or not, the gold nugget here going back and forth will turn on and off the comparator, which adds redstone signal to the block here, which then powers our dropper. And if I add a stack of iron to the sorter now, it'll go through, it'll get sent into the dropper, which then gets sent into the auto crafter. When the crafter is filled with 9 items, it releases a 9 long strand of redstone power, which means if you have a comparator going from the crafter into a 9 long strand of redstone, which then goes into a repeater, every time the crafter fills up, it'll release a signal, which then crafts a block of iron. If you need clarification on any of that, leave a comment. We've got all our redstone done. We are done down here. And the most important part with messing with redstone is just testing it to make sure it works. And as you can see, you'll be able to watch the redstone go and then the crafter go off. All the while, the tuff will get sorted into here, and I will warn, sometimes you will find some iron ingots in here. It's not the biggest deal. Most of them are going to the iron chest anyways. And since the only 2 things iron golems drop are poppies and iron, it's not the biggest deal. What is the biggest deal is making sure that if you build a platform around this, use non-flammable blocks. You're going to have lava in here in a second. For this next portion, you want to go like at least 20 to 30 blocks up into the sky. That would also be a really good time to mention you want to do this in a place that you're going to be very prominently in your world. You want to keep this thing spawned in. I'm going to go out 1, 2 blocks, and this second block here is going to be where we keep our pet zombie. So I'm just going to place a block on top of the scaffolding like that. And along the edges of this block, I'm going to go ahead and place down some polished deep slate stairs. And this is where our zombie will be held. On the 3 sides not facing the center point where I put my scaffolding, you want to go out 3 more blocks, and this is going to be where our villagers are kept. Also lining this with polished stairs to make my life easier when it comes to placing blocks. For these chambers, it does not matter what you build them out of, whether it's stone, wood, whatever. Just have a chamber where you can capture villagers and zombies, and you'll be good to go. You want your chambers built like this, 3 blocks up, and then you want to place a bed and a torch in each of these chambers. The torch keeps mobs from spawning, and the bed is needed for the villager to quote unquote sleep, even though it's not actually going to sleep. And for the zombie, you can go ahead and block off this edge here. It's this one, and that one that need to stay open. And just use a temporary block to place the logs here. On all 3 of these, you are going to place a slab on the corner and a row of slabs like that, which will keep iron golems from spawning on the edge. Another word of warning, do not build this near any villages or by any villager farms you may have. I completely forgot to say that earlier, so I'm hoping you haven't done that already. Now it's time to build the platform, so we're going to go ahead and put down 3 stairs right here, just like that. And the rest of this is just going to be deep slate blocks. And what I'm going to do is leave a hole over each of these over the chambers, but you want a rectangle chamber that just lines it like so, and it makes it easy to follow it because you have these guides here with the edge of your corners. And the front of the build should be flush like this up against the center of your drop thing, which if you scaffolded up here, it's easy to tell where that is. Using a temporary block here, you want to go ahead and place walls along the edge of this, leaving the corners empty like that, so that way the iron golems don't fall off the spawner platform. Now what I'm going to go ahead and do is build a funnel going all the way up to our contraption from the bottom here, and this just ensures that none of the iron golems are going to fall out of your little area here. I'm going to leave just a nice small 2-block space, that way I can get in and out of here still, because I need to do a couple more things inside the funnel. Now, do you have to do this? Not exactly, but if you want the peace of mind knowing that the iron golems are not going to fall out of the place and they're going to make sure they fall into the center, I recommend doing this. I do it every time I build a iron golem farm. I stand by the belief that the scaffolding block is by far the most useful block for survival builders. When it comes to up here, you're going to want to go up 2 blocks on the edges here because it will keep the golems from getting caught on the blocks themselves. And I'm just going to finish this off by topping this off with slabs. We're ready to go get the villagers and the zombie. What I'm going to do is I'm going to place a trapdoor over the one I need the mob to go into. So we're going to get a villager first, and then I'm putting dirt over the other ones. That way it's all temporary blocks that I do not care about. Couple things before we get mobs up here. First off, block off this. You don't want them falling down after you get them up. Second, dirt staircase is the best way to do it. Third, add a trapdoor carpet here so you as the player can jump out while the mob is stuck in here. And for the villagers, go ahead and line the staircase with some form of work block. That way it entices the villager up. I find that if you have it on the same level as a block that you can stand on, it makes it a little easier for the villager to pathfind to it. The composter is also one of the cheapest work blocks, so it's the easiest one to use to guide villagers. I'm gonna go ahead and start by placing a work block along the path here, and as the villagers go to each workstation, we'll go ahead and destroy it and move it forward. Okay, who wants to come on out? Anybody at all? Absolutely. Oh, okay, we have a taker. Nope, that taker ran away. Anybody want to get a job? Okay, let's destroy that and replace it. Oh, okay, we got a taker. Hello, my good sir. How do you feel today? Where are you walking to? Dude, there was one right there. Please do not go in the zombie house. If you go in the zombie house, I'm gonna cry. Okay, perfect, perfect, perfect. Let's see where he goes next. Oh, this is working out great. Now what I want to do is go ahead, place some more going along here. So that way when we break the other one, he has workstations he can go and get attracted to. Okay, now we destroy the one he's associated with. Be very careful going up here. You don't want to accidentally kill the villager. So even before he gets associated with the block, go ahead and destroy it. We'll let him do his thing. We're going to crouch so he doesn't knock us off. Okay, this is perfect. Now he's stuck up here. He's over that, so we get him over the trapdoor, open that, and since he sees that as a full block he can walk on, he's gonna fall down there very easily. Now we just destroy the trapdoor. We didn't get it, but I have a whole stack of them. Well, I hope you enjoy life in here. Now it's time for the next trapdoor, and we just repeat the process that we just did with the villager workstations.
1 hour later.
With that, that's our last villager, and now we just need to go get a zombie. Catch is I've got to wait till nighttime. Correction, I only need to wait till nighttime unless I can get a zombie zombie to spawn and put on this gold helmet. Here, put that on. He put it on. Now I can just guide him back to the chamber. Something to keep in mind, once this zombie is in here, this spawner will start to work. And I don't want iron golems to fall down into the pit yet, so I'm gonna need to keep it blocked with the dirt that's there, and then I'll be good to go. Also, you clearly see how much I'm being beaten up by the zombie, so it's good to have armor on you, but the zombie's in here and the villagers are now panicking, which also means I can now get rid of this staircase. Ah, yes. Sheer panic. It's beautiful. Now, keeping a gap between the hopper and these signs, go ahead and place them down like this on top of each other. And once you have your signs covering the entire 3x3 space, go ahead, place down a lava bucket, get out of there. And I don't have my glass on me. Let's go ahead and do this, and we're going to quickly replace that with this. The one thing I will note is the villagers do need to sleep for a second. The zombie died somehow. I'm very confused. I didn't think it was possible since the zombie was wearing a helmet, but in case it died to burning alive, we'll go ahead and place a thing of water down there. That way it can't do that. Let's go ahead and try this again. Let's see if he picks up the golden helmet. Perfect. Now we just need to get him to go into the hole. That was a lot easier than the first one. Okay, then we add a name tag to him. Well, there's your proof that this works. And now I just need to go ahead and replace these dirt blocks with, or actually no, I just need to place the signs right here to block off the water that I'm about to place down. And with the water, this is now fully operational. And once we destroy that, that'll go down and get sorted into our system. Now we gotta watch it fall down the hole, burn to death, drop its iron into here. The final thing I want to go ahead and do is just build a basic border around this. I think mud bricks will be a good contrast to the grays we have going on here. Okay, and in the time it took for me to finish this, I've gotten 2 pieces of iron ingots stuck in this chest, 36 poppies, and 15 blocks of iron, which gets us to the second power of beacon. Now I can go ahead and get jump boost or resistance if I wanted to, and now our beacon works even further away. Our iron golem farm is finished. I will see you guys in the next one, and check out the last episode where I fought the wither. Subscribe with the icon. Have a nice day.